Hi again, Norm Norlander here, and I would like to demonstrate how to tie a terribly effective fly. I sometimes have mixed emotions about fishing with, and that's a beadhead chironomid. It's much like fishing with a worm and bobber at times, especially when we're using strike indicators. However, it's a great way to get folks who aren't terribly used to fly fishing into the game, and it's a good way to start out kids. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to switch our trusty little Norvise over to the fine point conversion. It's really easy to do. We just take and remove the front hub. We replace it with our fine point conversion hub, like so. Tighten it up like this. And in addition, we're going to put on the turning arm. That's this little beauty that comes with your fine point conversion. It goes in the rear hub. Now, one of the things about this, when we rotate the vise, it's pretty hard to know just where the center rotation is. This fine point head is going to come with a little alignment pin. So that pin tells us where the center line is. Now what we do here is we'll take our hook. In this case, it's about a size 12 or 14 nymph hook with a tungsten bead on it, and we'll set that in there. And we just raise this up until it's pretty well centered. Now you know where the center rotation is going to be. No guesswork. You're ready to go. Okay? Pretty neat. We're going to start out by attaching some thread. I'm using a fairly fine thread. This is an 8/0 thread, and we'll just roll on a little bit of thread like that. Next, I'm going to use some silver wire. And this is about 6/1000 in diameter. It's actually nickel-plated copper, so it's very soft and malleable. When you're using a bead head like this, it's really important to roll in a half hitch each time you want to put your bobbin up out of the way. Otherwise, it'll slip over the eye of the hook. Now, you notice I'm taking my wire, putting it on an empty hook, and we're going to put that all the way down like this around the bend of the hook. You keep that bobbin tube real close so you don't have to weave it in and out. Okay, let's pull off a little wire here. Now the material holder, this little spring on the fine point conversion, works pretty good. Just slip that in there. For the body, we're going to use some of this stuff. There's a lot of elastic materials out here. One of my favorites is actually called Liquid Lace. This is different. This is just stretchy floss stuff. It's very rubbery. You tie these in a variety of colors. I tie most of mine in black or very close to black. Attach that, half hitch it again, get your bobbin out of the way. Now we're going to use the friction clamp. That's this little beauty on top here. So I can rotate the vise and use it to roll on the material. Now don't pull too hard on this stretchy stuff at first. What you want to do is as you work your way back, then start pulling a little bit harder like I'm doing here. And what this will do is this will add some taper to the body. These chironomids are quite slender. Oops, sorry, I ticked it a little bit, no big problem. Go down like this around the bend. This will give it kind of some natural curvature. These little beauties. Again, I'm pulling quite hard. Now I'm going to reverse and come forward with this stuff. And as I come forward, I start to back off on the pressure. And see how that'll put a little bit of segmentation to it, and it also increases the diameter. So that's how we get the tapered effect on a chironomid. So come right pretty much up to where the thorax is going to be. Again, the bobbin rolls over and we tie it off like so. Pretty easy to do, guys. Secure it with a half hitch. Then I'm going to reach in, pull a little bit of stretch to it, and then you can clip that and it'll come off clean. Now we're going to take our wire that we have in there. I'm going to grab hold of it with the hemostat. Now we've been turning everything this way. We're going to run our wire, we're going to counter wrap. So we're going to go the opposite direction. Make a couple turns right here at the base. See, that's where that fine point helps us get down around the bend of the hook. Okay, now as we come forward, keep your wraps or segmentations fairly close, and as you get further forward, get them further apart, like so. Okay? Put a little extra wire up front there if you want. Pop that off. Bring the bobbin in, like so. And we'll secure that with a half hitch. Okay guys, next we're going to put the thorax onto this little beauty, and I'm going to use some peacock herl. Just take a couple pieces here, and again we want to use the tips. So you align those, get a couple of them aligned together like this, and then we'll just take and lash those on like so. Secure it with a half hitch. You can just pull the ends off. It's real fragile. You don't even have to use scissors. Okay. Bring your herl and your thread together. Give the vise a spin. And now we're going to, a little pressure on there, and we're going to take and wind that into position like so. This forms the thorax of the thing. Okay, and we'll come back and tie that in. You pop that off. Secure it. Now, one of the characteristics of these chironomids is they have what are called thoracic gills. Little white fluffy things. They actually come out of the top of the head. And with that bead head up there, it doesn't work so well. So we're going to put them behind the bead. But it gives the fly a little bit of movement, which I think is kind of neat. Okay, so tie that on. And we're tying this in by the tip. Cut that off. Okay, and again we'll just take and use the vise so you can very, very precisely put that right where you want it. So 3 or 4 turns of ostrich herl, back of it a couple times, once in front. We'll secure that with a half hitch, and we'll come in and whip finish right on top of our half hitch. Yeah, pretty well secure, so I wouldn't worry about trying to put any head cement in there. It's pretty well protected with that bead. And then you can reach in and clip off both your thread and the ostrich herl one shot, and we're done. Like I say guys, that little beauty really works, and I think you'll find them very, very effective.